Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at KASPA. This is going to be a lower time frame video. We do have our higher time frame video up above, so check that out if you haven't already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, as we were discussing in the previous video, there are a few ways of counting this move to the upside here. Now what we are looking for is evidence that this fifth wave is completed, and what we are saying here is that we're looking for this target of this 0.9542 to this 0.58090, but we have taken this wave 3 high, so we need to just be careful because there is a count here which we could argue that we have a completed impulse into this high, in which case what we would then be anticipating is that we could actually be looking for a deeper retracement in this blue wave 4, where we could actually look to move back here towards this 21925 to this 008261. Now there is other alternatives here within these ideas where we could actually still see, even if this is a completed impulse, that we could see 3 waves down looking to actually hold the support box here of this 28257 to this 15842, and what we'd be looking for effectively would be a 3-wave move back down into these lows. Now it would be very interesting to see how we react here towards this 28257 if we do see something like this, where we see a bigger retracement here, because this could align with us actually still finding support here and then looking to rally. But obviously it depends on what the structure is that we come down in. Otherwise, the next likelihood is that we are actually within this idea here that we are within the blue fourth wave, and what we would typically look to do would be test out the previous fourth wave area. So we'll be keeping an eye on this. If we start to develop a bigger, more sideways move here, this would be what my primary expectation would be. Now it is possible, however, here that we are still incomplete, and what we would be looking for here would be the potential that this is 1-2, this is another 1-2 here, and effectively we are within the blue count still. Now we have held the support zone so far, which is sitting here at this 036262, and in the previous video I was saying, we need to watch this level here because we were looking for the potential that we could see one more move to the downside, and then we were saying we could start to get a reaction up. Now the reaction up is looking good so far. We're going to start to go over this and actually talk about what we need to see play out. If this move is actually completed here and this fourth wave has completed into this low here, what we would be expecting is to protect this low now, and we wouldn't expect to go back down to it. Now within that idea, what we'd be looking for here would be the potential that we are looking for a 5-wave move to the upside. So invalidation of this comes by crossing this 35900, and what we'd be looking for would effectively be a 3-wave move to the downside off this high. Now it is possible internally here, we could argue this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and this is actually a completed move. Alternatively, what we could argue is this is 1, 2, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then we still have another fourth and a fifth. Now I don't like this second interpretation because the fourth wave would be so much bigger than this small little wave 2 here that it becomes less likely if that's the case. And rather what I would be looking for here is that, we've potentially got a completed move. Now, if this is the case, like I said, we'd be looking for a 3-wave move to the downside. The most common target areas we're looking for wave 2 is actually between this 50% and this 786. Now, if we do come down shallower here into this 382, we also need to keep an eye on this because sometimes we can get a shallower wave 2 develop where we only look to push down to this 0.3H2, which would actually be quite an interesting level to keep an eye on. If we do actually, hold that zone, potentially we could look to see a rally from that point. But like I said, typically we look to actually push down deeper. What we could see here is something like this as a 3-wave move. We see a move back up, and then we start to push down deeper, looking to challenge some of these lower levels here and looking to potentially, fill a little bit of this gap that we've got here, and then look to move to the upside if we are looking for this bullish case. Now, the key thing within this idea is what we would want to see after our retracement is a move up towards this 1618. So this 1618 will be taken from these lows up into the highs and then back down into the lows here and projected forward. This is the most common target area for a wave 3, and what I've done is I've projected this off of this golden pocket lower down here, which would give us a target of this 55007, and this would be where we'd be looking for ideally for our wave 3 target. If we look to actually find support higher up here, this would also push this target area up. So we're going to have to just be mindful that until we see confirmation that this move is starting to push again, we could still just be within this corrective phase. Now, what this would mean is that if we form something like this within that bigger idea here of the impulse, this would then look to push us into this blue target box here of the 64775 to this 5542 1. Now what I would be anticipating if we do see a move up into those levels would then be actually seeing 3 waves back to the downside here, and actually looking to challenge this area once again between this 41884 to this 33880. Now it is also possible to see a deeper retracement to this 28543, but if we start to lose that level, the potential becomes less likely that we're going to actually see this continue on here. But true invalidation only comes by crossing this wave 1 down here at this 19818, but the probabilities become much less once we start to cross that 50% level. So the idea here is that if we have this low in place here as a 4th wave, we'd be expecting to see this move complete. We'd see 3 waves down holding this low, and then start to see that 1618 get hit and look to push up into this zone. Now there is always potential within this. We could get something like this as a 1-2, we get another 1-2 here, and what this would mean is that we potentially extend a little bit higher. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this to see how we react. Now there is also potential here that this 4th wave is incomplete. Now, as we were talking about in the previous video, what we were saying is that there was 2 ways we were looking at this. So we were saying that what we could have is that this move was either a WXY, and then we were saying we need to be careful here because we just have a 3-wave move to the upside. And if we do just have this as a 3-wave move to the upside, what we could be looking for is a Z wave to the downside. Now that Z wave 1-to-1 was actually here at this 34523, but we didn't actually reach that level here. And what I was saying is previously is that we need to be on the lookout for this support box here again, offering us some support, and then looking for a move away. So this could be a completed move here where this is W, X, Y, X, and Z. Now what this could then mean is that either we start to shoot up in our bigger 5-wave structure, or alternatively we could just form a 3-wave move and then still look to break down afterwards. So unless we actually reach that impulsive target where this becomes 1, 2, and we look for that 1618 level, we need to just be careful that any kind of a 3-wave move up here could still mean that we're within that retracement. And what this would mean is that potentially we could still just be looking to actually come back down here one more time and looking to target out the lower area of this 36262 to this 32429 area once again. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. Now, the other way that we discussed this previously was saying that what we need to be on the lookout for is that as a 4th wave, we could actually just get a more complex correction here. And what we are saying is that if we are not looking at this, what we need to be careful of is something more along these lines, where what we say is that this whole move down here is an A wave, and our rejection area for a B wave was the 786 to this 50%. Now we've come up to this 50% already, and what I'm on the lookout for here is that if this move actually completes here, and this isn't an X wave and a Z wave, what we could have is that this could be A, this could be B, and this could actually be C. Now if this is the case, what this would mean is that this is a flat correction. Now if this is a flat correction, what we would need to see for confirmation that it's a flat correction is actually breaking this B wave low. Until we break this B wave low, we have the potential to form A, B, C, or alternatively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside. By breaking this low, what this does is confirm that this 5-wave move to the upside here is just a C wave, and we would then be looking for continuation to the downside, and this would become our B wave here. Now, if we are looking at this idea, what this would then mean is that if this is our B wave high, 1-to-1 would actually be here towards this 031924, which would be once again a very interesting target area because it would still be within this area of this previous 4th wave. And if I overlay that higher degree count here, what we can see is that this would be looking to push us down towards this zone here of this 03429, which would be our 50% level. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. If we do see price reject from this point and continue to push down impulsively, this could align with the idea of actually still seeing this as a 4th wave and then looking for that potential that, you know, this could look to turn around from this point. What we need to be careful of, however, is, like I said, if we start losing this 4th wave, there are other counts here where we could count this as 1, 2, but it becomes less likely in my opinion, just because this count would make the most sense with the time relationships and the size of the correction so far. So we're going to be just following this one at the moment. If we do see that change, then I will obviously talk about them again, but I did talk about them in the previous video. So if you haven't watched that, also check that one out. Now, another interesting area which would align with actually coming back into that zone would be looking at this whole area here. as a volume profile, as a range. Now what we'd be saying here is that this area here of this 32685 would also align with a retest of this value area high. So if we do see this move actually look to break down into this region, I will be very interested to see if we get a reaction off this. If we do get a reaction, then that would still align with the idea that this could be a fourth, and then we still look for that fifth wave. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that zone. Moving in here and having a look at the daily pivots, what we can see is that price is starting to form higher CPR lines on the centrals. Now what this could mean is that price is actually going to start to trend here. What I would be looking for confirmation of this would be continuing to actually hold these levels and push through these R1 levels, which are these green lines above us. Now, if we are looking at this current day, what we can see is we have our central lines here at this 41784 to this 41466. Now, if we do look to move back down here, we could potentially look to find support and then continue this move to the upside. If, however, we start to reject off of this off of this R1 line here, price could actually be gravitated to the downside. Targets to the downside for today would be this 40688, 39484, 38593, and this 37329. If we do look to push up higher today, we could potentially look to test out the 44989 and this 45939 as potential targets to the upside. Now coming over and having a look at the weekly, because we have new weekly CPR lines here, what we can see is we have printed a lower CPR line. We have, however, found support, at least temporarily, on this. What I will be looking for here is that if we do continue to push to the upside here, this 45402 could potentially be a target for this week. Other targets to the upside would be this 48781 and this 53402. If, however, we start to lose these central lines, which are sitting here at this 41300, 4601, and this 39879, we could potentially be drawn towards some of our lower targets. So the targets to the downside for this week would be this 37246. We have this 32491 and this 29117. Now this lower target over here would align with the potential of actually having a completed move here and starting to see a bigger corrective move, looking to come back down and retest some of these lower zones. So I'm going to keep an eye on this level here. Now we're going to talk about the monthly now, so let's get over into this. On the monthly CPR lines, what we can see is that we also did bounce, as we were talking about in the previous video, on this top line. Now if this is going to continue looking to trend here, what I would be looking for is holding this low and then starting to see price look to push back to the upside here. Now if we do look to push to the upside this month, targets are still open here at this 46760, so this could potentially give us resistance again. Open ones are this 54183 and this 67586 as possible upside targets. If, however, we see price looking to push back to the downside here, once again, we do have potential for this to come back into this previous fourth wave area. Central line is sitting at this 33458, could potentially be support, and this 30636, which would be just below that 50% level if we do see price continuing to fall during this month. Now, if we start to lose these central lines here, other targets to the downside would be this 25977, this level here of this 12757, and all the way down here at this 005269. Now, just because these lines are here doesn't mean we always have to get interaction with them. They are just potential pivot points. And to be honest with you, if this is going to be continuing as a trending move, I wouldn't like to see us losing this S1 line. Otherwise, it will be indicating we're going to start to see more weakness in the coin. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We will see you in the next one. Take care.